The Omicron variant quickly disrupted everything again, just as consumers were starting to return to old habits. Get out there, feel excited. And we have some new numbers tonight we want to show you. The variant is causing some ripples, but there is some good news too. Always comes with some good news. Joining me again tonight is consumer marketing strategist Lisa Miller. The first thing that caught my eye in your new study is more than half of Americans you talk to say, COVID's here, we're going to live with it, and it's time to restart our lives again.
Right, and as you know, we've been measuring joy since the beginning, and basically what it is attitudes lead behaviors. So as fast as Omicron came in our data, we're seeing it was just a small little dip down, and consumers are basically ready to get back. And that important, what you just said, is it's kind of that coexisting and making sure we're not going to just shut down our lives, and we just have to find a way to go out and still enjoy ourselves and live our lives.
Well, that's the second point that you have, is that there's this readiness to venture out index that you did. And, some people have been out there living their lives. They don't care. But a lot of people are feeling some trepidation. Where are we in that scale?
Well, what would happen is in December, and as you remember, it was the record holiday sales, and people did go back out to the stores. And so that was a sign. In the early January with the Omicron cases, we saw that readiness to venture out dip down. But by mid-January, it already popped right back up. And so that just says, we're ready to rediscover and get used to going back out again. And so again, very good news overall. It's going to still take a few weeks to unwind, but good news, definitely.
How about when it comes to food? Because you were an executive in that industry for a long time. My crock pot is about to fizzle out. I cannot take another crock pot meal. Are people getting out and eating more?
Well, what's funny is, with that dip in early January, it was a swift and immediate pivot back. It's not the consumer's first rodeo with now this thing called COVID. And so pretty quickly in early January, people said, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and just pivot to cooking back at home. That dining experience inside a restaurant isn't that joyful, which we've talked about before, but it's pivoting right back. So it's like a dip down. Yep, I know what to do. I'm going to cook more. I'm going to do more delivery. But okay, now I feel safe again. It's time to get back out the door.
And if business owners are listening to you thinking, okay, how do I make more joy? How do I get people back in my restaurant, my coffee shop? What are people telling you?
Well, that is a great question, Chance, and I've been thinking a lot about that relative to this data. And like I said earlier, it's this whole notion of rediscovering a brand. And so we have to remind people why to come out, why they need to come enjoy. So why did they fall in love with the brand in the first place? And it's that old adage, try it again for the first time. That's what businesses and marketers need to do. And I think we've kind of forgotten that. So I think we need to get back to it.
That's a great point. I don't care what you buy at the store. Nothing is as good as hot chips and salsa from a good Mexican restaurant. Nothing can compare to that. Lisa Miller, consumer marketing strategist. Oh yeah, and a good margarita too. Keeping an eye on everything, always changing for us. We appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Have a good one.